Hello children, welcome back to English to English with Kashish. How are you all? I hope all of you are doing perfectly fine and you all are healthy. I hope you're eating healthy and staying healthy too. Drink lots of water and keep hydrated. Take care of yourselves, alright? So today I'm here back with another chapter which is the concert. Yes, it is the Unit 5 of your English language. I have divided this chapter also into parts so you can understand it better. Alright, so firstly, what's a concert? A concert is something musical, a musical event, okay? And who does a concert? Singers, musicians, instrument players, all combined together, they make a concert. Alright, have you ever seen a concert before? Have you ever gone to a concert before? So tell me, who's your favorite player? It can be either an instrument or a singer. Do let me know who are your favorites. Okay, so in this particular chapter, which is the concert, it is written by Shanta Rameshwar Rao. Okay, so in this chapter, we will talk about a brother and a sister who are very, very close to each other. Now, the brother Anand is not feeling well. He has cancer. So, he has to go through a lot of operations, but he is multi-talented. He is so good in lot of things. He is a sports person. He loves singing. He can write songs. He is a composer, and his sister is very fond of him. Plus, he is very, very fond of Ravi Shankar ji. Yes, the singer. So, let's see what happens in this chapter. Before we start the chapter, let's learn about the author. Okay, so this is Shanta Rameshwar Rao. She was born in 1924. She is an Indian writer of myths, legends, folk tales, short stories and picture books for children. She has retold the tales from Indian scriptures and reworked folk tales and myths from little known tribal communities and far-flung areas of India. So basically she liked getting stories back to life, alright, which have got lost. What are the scriptures? Scriptures are written matters on the walls, maybe on temples or castles. So she used to get those stories out and retell them to us and also children, which is very, very important. Okay. In Tales of Ancient India in 1960, she retells original stories which are real life stories, okay, like how the stork got its long neck and why snakes have forked tongues. These are all real life stories. She stresses the importance of wise action in our public as well as private life, alright, how you should be in your life, you should be wise. So she gets those incidents into our life. So let's start the story. Yes, are we ready? Okay, super cool. So now, one morning in a small apartment in Bombay, a girl of about 16 looked up from the newspaper and said excitedly, Pandit Ravi Shankar's playing tomorrow at the Shanmukund auditorium. What did she say? That Pandit Ravi Shankar is coming to say. How was she? She was very excited. What do you mean by excitedly? Now, firstly, who is Pandit Ravi Shankar? An Indian musician. I am very, very sure you all would have heard about him. He is also a composer. Who is a composer? Who writes his own songs, and a sitar player. He was also a multi-talented person. And now, what did excited mean? It's a feeling or it's a happiness kind of a thing, you know, you show happiness and enthusiasm. So this is an adverb, alright. So why was she excited? She was excited because Pandit Ravi Shankar was playing in an auditorium and she jumped of joy. And when you are excited, what do? You say, hooray! You scream out loud, right? But then from behind, one word came, shh, shh, shh. Now what does that mean? Said her mother. pointing to the figure sleeping on the bed. Someone was sleeping on the bed and she said, "Shh, you'll wake him up. You know he needs all the sleep and rest he can get." Now, who are they talking about here? Who needs to sleep and who needs to get all the rest? Maybe someone who's not well also, right? So, here we are talking about Anant, okay? But the boy on the bed was not asleep. Yes. Pandit Ravi Shankar, he said, Pandit Ravi Shankar, the sitar maestro. Maestro is a great performer and especially a musician. Who's a maestro? Maestro is anyone who performs. It can be any instrument, alright? So tell me what all instruments you know about? Sitar, tabla, drums, piano, flute, lots of instrument. Do you also play some? Let me know if you do. Okay, so even his brother was very excited because he loved to see him playing. He raised himself up on his elbows for a second. Elbows, alright. He raised himself up on the elbows for 1 second. Then fell back because he was very tired. But his eyes were shining. Why were they shining? Because he wanted to really see Pandit Ravi Shankar playing. "We mustn't miss the chance," he said. I've always wanted to hear him and see him. So when you say, I've always wanted to see, he was so excited and happy and he wanted to go see him play. "Lie down, son, lie down." His mother sprang. What is sprang? Sprang is moved quickly and suddenly towards a particular place with a catch in her throat, with a feeling of great sorrow. Okay, she sprang. What did she do? She told him to lie down. What does sprang mean? Moved quickly and suddenly. Her mother got up quickly and suddenly and she told him, "Lie down, son, lie down." To his side. He actually raised himself up without help. She murmured with a catch in her throat. What is catch in her throat? That means with a feeling of great sorrow. Now, his mother was feeling very sad and she was upset because her son was not well and he was very excited. So, she was feeling a little bit upset and her eyes turned to the idols on the corner shelf. And her eyes went to the idols, the gods that she had kept to protect her son, asking him a question, "Why is this happening to my son?" The prayer which she uttered endlessly came unbidden. Unbidden means not waiting for. It just comes on its own, unexpectedly, anytime. It's not supposed to be planned. You know, when someone is not well, you keep praying for them repeatedly. So she uttered endlessly, came unbidden to her lips. Alright. So unbidden usually used after the verb. It comes after the verb without being asked or invited or expected. It just comes naturally. So whenever she used to go to her son, she had kept some god there and she was always praying for his better health. Okay. "I must hear him and see him," the boy repeated. "I have to see him, Mama. I want to see him play. It's the chance of a lifetime. When do you think I will get a chance again?" Then he began to cough and gasp of breath. Now then again he began to cough loudly. When you cough loudly, what does gasp for breath means? When you're coughing repeatedly for 2 minutes, you can't breathe, right? So he was catching his breath again and had to be given oxygen from the cylinder that stood under the bed. So when your situation is not good, when you're not feeling well, you need external oxygen. So how do you get external oxygen? From the cylinder which you have to keep in your house. So he couldn't breathe, so he had to be given oxygen from under the bed, from the cylinder. Alright. But his large eyes were fixed on his sister. Although all this was happening to him, he was coughing, he had oxygen mask on his head, but where were his eyes? To his sister. Why? Because he always had hopes from her. He knew that she will make his wish fulfill and he really loved her and it was a question in his eyes, I really want to go and see him, right? Yes. And also, how could you go without me? You can never leave me and go. Correct? So how old was Anant? Anant was 15-year-old. He was very, very small boy, yes. And his sister was 16-year-old. So that was the only difference. Smitha bit her lip. Now this is bit. Why? When will you bite her lip? When you say something which you were not supposed to say, which you feel guilty for later by mistake. Bit her lip in self-reproach. What is self-reproach? Now children, all these words that are highlighted for you, the meanings are here. Where are these words? These words are in your glossary. So when you are reading the chapter with me, underline these words in your notebook and also refer to the glossary that's given to you. Alright? Great. So self-reproach is a blame or criticism against oneself or herself. You suddenly blame yourself. And at that point she bit her lip. She had been so excited at seeing the announcement that she had not remembered that her brother was very ill. When she saw the ad in the newspaper, she did not even think about the brother, right? When you're very excited, you don't think about what's around you. She suddenly got excited and started screaming, yay! And then she realized that she did a mistake. Okay, so then that's when she bit her lip. Now, she had seen how the doctors had shaken their heads gravely. What do you mean by gravely? Gravely means seriously. When do you shake your head seriously? And when a doctor shakes a head seriously, what does that mean? When the doctor shakes his head with laughter and happiness, that means there is good news. But when he shakes his head seriously, that means there's a bad news, right? I want all of you to use these words when you're talking to your friends. Gravely means seriously. Use these words when you're talking to your friends, okay? So now, she had seen how the doctors had shaken their heads gravely and spoken words that neither she nor her parents could understand. How do doctors speak? They speak in their doctor language, but we don't understand that. But when he's shaking his head seriously, that means there's some bad news, isn't it? But somewhere deep inside her heart, Smitha had known the frightening truth that Anant was going to die. The way the doctors said that, she was scared, she was frightened, she felt sad that yes, her brother is going to die. He doesn't have too many days to live, right? So she got to know it by the way the doctor was talking to them. The word cancer had hung in the air. Hung in the air, what does that mean? That means worrying someone. It was as if the word was everywhere in the house. They were only talking about that and there was this emptiness in everyone. When someone's not well in the house, the entire day you only think about that. That's always hung in the air in the house, isn't it? Her brother was dying of cancer even though she pretended that all would be well and they would return together. What do you mean by pretended? Pretended is basically to behave in a particular way, artificially pretend, in order to make other people believe something that is not true. It's actually not true. They are not happy from inside the heart, but they are acting as if they are happy. It's not true, but they are acting like that. A small family of 4 to their home in Gaganpur. They want to go back as a happy family of 4. Why have they come to Bombay? They have come to Bombay for the treatment of Anant. Now, as a happy family of 4, they want to go back to Gaganpur. And everyone is acting as if everything is fine. They are all happy. And he was only how old? Only 15-year-old. He was a baby. And the best table tennis player in the school, and a fastest runner, and so fond of music. It is so lovely to have a child like that, and he was not well. Imagine the parents how they must be feeling. He was learning to play the sitar. One more. He was learning to play the sitar. They were both taking sitar lessons. Who are both here? Anant and Smitha, Anant's sister. But Anant was better than her as in many other things. Anant was much better than his sister in so many things. Now can we see what all did he do? He played sitar. He was a great table tennis player. He was the fastest learner and he was the fastest runner too. Isn't it? Yes. He was already able to compose his own tunes to the astonishment of their guru. He was already able to create new tunes in his sitar. What do you mean by astonishment? It means a feeling of a very great surprise. You get astonished, shocked, surprised when someone does something, no? Then cancer had struck and they had come to Bombay so that he could be treated at the cancer hospital in the city. Now this is the past. They are talking about when they were in Gaganpur. They are talking about what all he used to do there, right? What all Anant was involved in. And then what happened? Cancer happened and they moved to Bombay. Why would you go from Gaganpur to Bombay? Don't they have good hospitals there in Gaganpur? No. Every big city has bigger hospitals with bigger doctors. So you have to move into a bigger city, isn't it? So for that they had come to Bombay. Whenever they came to Bombay, the family stayed with Aunt Sushila. Okay, that is one of the relatives of theirs. So who all have we met till now? We met Mama, Papa, Anant, Smitha and Aunt Sushila. Okay, let's see who all we meet in this story. Her apartment was not big, but there was always room for them. Although Aunt Sushila's apartment was not very big, her heart was big and there was always room for them. That's called a happy family, isn't it? They had come with high hopes in the miracles of modern science. Miracles. What are miracles? Miracles are an act or an event that does not follow the laws of nature and is believed to be caused by God. Now Anant's cancer was at a stage where he could not get treated. But now they were waiting for a miracle to happen. Something that is beyond doctors. Doctors have already told that they can't do anything. After that, what do? You pray. And that's why Anant's mother always used to pray. So you look forward to something else, some other magic to happen, isn't it? So they had come with high hopes in the miracles of modern science. Here, lot of new science techniques were being followed in the city. So they were hoping to get something better from here. They told themselves that Anant would be cured at the hospital and he would again walk and run and even take part in the forthcoming table tennis tournaments. Now they had told themselves and they were again and again telling themselves every positive thing that they could. Yes, my son will walk again. He will start playing tournaments again. This is what Anant's mama used to say. And he would play the sitar and perhaps would be the greatest sitarist of one day. Every parent dreams that their children will become big someday. This is exactly what Anant's mama and papa wanted. They wanted him to be the greatest sitar one day. Yes, he would recover soon and get back to his normal life. But his condition grew worse with each passing day, and the doctors at the cancer hospital said, what did they say? Take him home, give him the things he likes, indulge him. And they knew then that the boy had not many days to live. Although his parents wanted Anant to do so many things, doctors had told him, you can take him home. Nothing can be done in the hospital now. It's not in our hands. You take him home and give him the best. Let him have his best time of his life because he's nearing end. Okay, so fulfill all his wishes. But they did not voice their fears. They did not tell anyone about this, because if they told Anant about this, he would be thinking of the same thing throughout. So he did not tell Anant. They laughed and smiled and talked and surrounded Anant with whatever made him happy. So when the situation was bad, they all made sure that it was very, very happy. Everyone was always smiling, they were happy, they were playing games. So Anant will never ever feel sad. They fulfilled his every need and gave whatever he asked for. And now he was asking to go to the concert, isn't it? The chance of a lifetime. You never know if Anant will be able to see that again. He was saying, when you are better. His mother said, Anand said, this is my chance of lifetime. I don't know when I'll get to see him. So Mama said, when you get better. This is not the last time they are going to play. Anand's mother said, this is not the last time that they're going to play. They keep playing the concerts, and wherever the concert is, I'm going to take you and go. Don't worry, get better first. Smitha stood at the window, looking at the traffic. Her eyes filled with tears. Now, Smitha is his sister. She's feeling bad and she was looking out of the window. Her mother whispered, but you, Smitha, you must go. Your father will take you. Don't worry, I'm going to buy tickets. You can go with your father and see the concert. When she was alone with Aunt Sushila, Smitha cried out in a choked voice. Choked voice, voice filled with sadness. When you cry with sadness, how do you cry? Like that, right? It's called choked voice. It's crying with lot of sadness. So Smitha was with Aunt Sushila and she was crying. No, how can I? We've always done things together. Everything that we do together. Anand and I. How can I go alone, Ma? How can I go alone, Aunt? I will not be able to. A walk in the park might make you feel better. Now, Aunt Sushila was also feeling bad. She didn't know what to do. So she told her, go walk and come. At the park, you'll feel better. Said Aunt Sushila, and Smitha was grateful for her suggestion. She said, okay, this change I definitely need. So she went to the park. Now, in the park, when you go to the park, what all do you see? Come on, let's picture a park and imagine that you're in a park. What do we see? We see people walking. Don't we see people walking? Yes. We see people running, playing ball. That's the exact scenario of a park here. What next? We have people who are doing some exercises like yoga or laughing exercises or feeding the ducks. Don't you see? If a park has a pond, there are ducks in it, people feed the ducks, and eating roasted gram and peanuts. That's the most yummiest thing you'll get in a park, isn't it? So here, we finished the part 1 of the chapter, the concert, okay? So till now we've seen about Anand, Smitha and what happened to Anand. We met few characters, we met few relatives. We will discuss about what Smitha thinks in the park in the part 2. Alright, I'll see you soon in the part 2. Wait for me. Signing out, Kashish Chugh. Thank you.